What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks, and we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks, cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. So you already know, last night, bruh, yo, I Pascal, man, like, are you serious? Are you actually serious? Like, double dribble? That's what mans are doing. Double dribble off a great steal by Lowry. Open court. Easy bucket or a pass to GT. Easy. Lemon squeezy. You don't even need to think. Man picks, like, this is what I'm talking about. In the clutch time, I don't trust mine. And I have to just be real, man. Like, I've been trying to tell y'all this from time. I've been trying to tell you that his number one option and this, Pascal being this is overboosted. His best case scenario is, being, just able to be himself when you have a main focal point in like Kawhi or another superstar, all-star caliber player to get the buckets, main buckets, be the focal point on offense. And let Pascal just do his, get the ball here and there moments and whatever, like transition as well. The fact that, like, y'all gotta understand, like, you know what? Before I even get into that, you already know, man, bro, last night, they're facing the Knicks, the Raptors were on the road off a back-to-back the night before, right? It was a big game. Gary Trent had his 44, 17 of 19 shooting. You know what I'm saying? 7 of 9 for the three, showing what elite looks like. Buckets after buckets. This is not just regular 44. This is actually shot creating, arsenal, step back threes, pull-ups, like shot type of 44. This is like elite 44. On par with the Clays in them. That's what I'm trying to, like, I've been trying to tell you. It's not just about the stats. It's about the ability. So when a guy who has ability is struggling and keeps showing ability, I never get mad. That's the type of guy that has that makeup, an all-star caliber star makeup, because he doesn't waver based on his performance. He's still so confident in himself that even when struggling, he could still take a step back. He could still take an ability type of take, a tough type of take, because he don't care about if the fact that I'm missing. He believes, this is me. I'm going to take the next one. While other guys, even some all-star players, even some superstar players, when they're struggling, what do? They go to just guaranteed layup. They'll never take an arsenal take unless they're confident because they're playing well or they're shooting well. And that's when you see those are the type of guys that don't just take over in the clutch, because unless it's just layups, and when you cut them off from layups, now they have to take over in the clutch. They're not going to shoot it. They're hesitant, whatever, and then they need that other guy to just go get buckets for me. And that's where the most elite guys that you see eye test wise are the guys that have no fear. This is the Kobe, the Jordan, the T-Mac, the Melo, the KD, the Kyrie, those type of makeup, Booker, those superstar talent type of guys who are like, you're looking at them in the clutch and like, God damn, even like you saw versus last night, versus who were they facing? The Nuggets with Boston Celtics with Tatum struggling, shooting atrocious the whole game. And then in the clutch, what happens? You're seeing Arsenal takes mid-range, step backs. And he just turns it on like that because we don't have no fear. At any time, I'm here. Those are the most elite guys, and that's what Gary Trent is displaying. And that's what people don't take away. They just look at the stats and read the stats, like stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Anyways, before I get into all of that, you already know, let's go into that context, because I gave it that context. Let's go straight right into it, boy. So like I was explaining, before I even get into the Pascal situation and the whole, we'll go through the trajectory of the whole game. And like, so before we even get into the Knicks game, we'll continue talking about what I was talking about with Gary Trent, just the ability, what he displayed versus the Cavaliers. When you see, like, people, they just read the stats and they'll say, oh my God, he shot 2 for 14. Oh my God, he did this and he did this and he did that. He shot bad. He's not even that good. The stats say that he's not that good. He does this. The stats don't mean shit when you're looking at eye test and ability. The stats only mean shit when it confirms what we see with our eyes. You don't go to the stats to get a whole synopsis, to get an actual clarification of what a guy is. The stats are supposed to be bonus. The stats are supposed to be, confirm what you're seeing. That's what the stats are supposed to be. They're not supposed to be all in and all, everything goes by the stats. I don't need to see what happens. Let me just go look at the stats and they'll tell me what happens. It's not this ain't This ain't what the Spark Notes. This ain't a summary. This ain't that. This is real life basketball. This is like, go look at the game, watch what's going on, and then the stats will kind of give you clarification. You'll never know. Perfect example, like, you'll never know, even with Malachi too, like, you'll never know. If you just look at stats, you will never know that these type of buckets they're scoring are Arsenal type of buckets. You'll never know Malachi is pulling up and showing you buckets. You'll never know that his 20 points are different than a guy spotting up in the corner's 20 points. You'll never know. Yes, it's jump shots, but there's different takes of jump shots. Did you create one-on-one? Or did you just need someone to get you open, or they helped and you just hit off the spot up? Okay, what if they don't help no more? Are you going to get 20? You're not going to. What if you're not open no more? Are you still going to get the 20? That's what you're seeing in Malachi doing a pull-up, right? That's what you'll never know, even within the misses. You'll never know that this man did an elite take, he just missed. You'll never know that Gary Trent dropped the man off the Arsenal, off the read and react spin, and then pull, and he missed it. You'll never know that man's that pull-up should go, and he just missed it. You'll never know that man's are still taking elite takes because all you see is he missed. He went 2 for 14. He didn't even shoot that good. You'll never know that even though he missed, the fact that he could create that type of open take, if you go throughout the whole season now, if he keeps creating those type of takes, it's going to be a high percentage take. When it matters, that's the type of guy you would want to give the ball. You get what I'm saying? That type, you'll never know, because if you look at the misses, you'll never see how he missed. His misses and a guy's miss, a different guy's misses are two different things. And this is applicable to Gary Trent. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just, again, oh my God, he shot bad, he did this and did that. And those type of fugazi, kind of comments, because you just read stats, Norman Powell better, and all this type of stuff. Like, I'm taking GT. Like, look what GT is doing in his third season. Go look at what Norman Powell did in his third season. And this is what I hate about casual fans, and I hate about just media. I despise it, because I'm forced now to look like I'm shitting on other players when I actually like them. But I have to give a perspective, because, again, mans will never understand until you visually or you just verbally have to shit on a guy or digress what that guy is doing to give a perspective that, yo, no, that's not true. You're forced to be in that position because niggas elevate other guys way higher than they actually are, or they decrease and shit on other guys when they shouldn't be. Then now, in order to give real perspective, you now have to say bad things or look at a negative perspective about Norman Powell or any other player. I'm forced to be in that position. It's either I do that or I don't talk at all. But I'm here because at the end of the day, it's about authenticity with the game and, passion for the game. And the passion is showing the real truth about this beautiful sport. The sport is a beautiful sport. You know what I'm saying? And it's like Draymond said, it's delicate too. You could mess it up if you don't know what you're talking about. You could taint and, dilute the game. You could mess it up. It's like you trying to create, elite juice. When you try to make those canned juices, you want to use Tang. You want to use, what's the other one? What's the one? You want to use High C. You want to use Minute Maid, Fruit Punch, however you want to make it up the can. When you want to make it for the kids, you know what I mean? You got to use the right perfect amount of juice and water ratio. If you use too much water, you could dilute it. It could taste fugazi. To some people, that juice tastes like ass because you didn't make it right. It's really delicate. You got to have the perfect ratio, the perfect balance to understand how this juice can be elite. And it can even taste better than some McDonald's drinks. That's what I'm trying to say. You got to use the right ratio, the right balance. That's exactly how this sport is. If you could dilute this sport that it just looks like fugaziness, that player looks like garbage, you could dilute it with these fugazi, narratives. Or you could use the real IQ, real eye test, and you'll appreciate the sport even more. You know what I'm saying? And that's the battle that I'm facing, a battle that a lot of us who actually know the game and understand the game and have IQ for the game and love the game are facing. We're at a disadvantage, we're outnumbered, but it don't matter. At the end of the day, we're trying to get it where majority of fans now end up being the IQ fans. And that's what, that's the job and the fight that we all are on. No matter what podcast, you'll know who's real. You know who has IQ. You know what I'm saying? And that's the fight we on. So now that we move past that, like, you can't just look at GT, because now those games when the ability meets the skill meets the output in terms of points and stats, they go, it's only one game. And it's like, come on, man. Like, yo, You know what I mean? It's just crazy, But anyways, GT, like I said, remember when Pascal's not there, Van Vliet hasn't been there, and even Lowry wasn't there, you're going to see Trent's usage rise up. And I don't think Trent's usage would actually change that much from Van Vliet and Lowry. You're starting to see, even when Lowry came back versus the Knicks, you're starting to see they actually understand that this guy's a dog. So they actually go to him more. They don't get mad if he don't pass. You know what I'm saying? Or, stuff like that. They involve him more. Even Nurse, they involve him more because they understand his ability. But who takes away from Trent? It's Pascal. And that's what I've been said, because Pascal, even when man's pick and they pop for him, you'll see Pascal will hold the ball extra because he wants to just go to work. He wants to prove something. He wants to do all this extra stuff. And it's like, I'm never mad at a player doing that, especially when you're the main guy. I will never be mad. Like, go do you. And if it's not there, then, facilitate and pass or whatever. I'm never mad because we already know what it is. But when you're not that guy, not only that, even if you're that guy and you don't have ability and the man is frying off ability, use him. When you don't have ability, stop holding the ball. Or if you're going to hold the ball, at least do something. Why are you holding the ball? To do what? To do what? To do what? And that's what cheeses me. Like, he always be doing that with Pascal, man. It gets frustrated. Let the man eat. Let the man build and get more even acclimated, more comfortable. His efficiency will only rise when he gets more comfortable. Remember, he just got integrated to the team. The fact that he's doing this and he just came to the team is a 10 times benefit. Only star talent could do that. You don't see role players go to a new team and just start frying off the gate. He has potential there. And that's why you hear the hoopla matches with Trent. That's why you hear. This is the rare case where he's getting the hoopla from the Raptors fans, and is rightfully so. It's deservingly so. You know me. If it's not deservingly so, I'll shit on that shit too fast and say, no, that's cap. This is not cap. You know what I'm saying? So, like, anyways, now you've seen with the Knicks game. The Knicks came and you've seen he wasn't getting too many shots to start. You know what I mean? Because you already know GT's going to get in his bag out the gate. You know what I'm saying? Out the gate, he's going to. But, they're trying to, now you have Pascal. The lineup is different. We get it. And stuff like that, right? So he's not the focal point. You're going to go to Pascal and do whatever you're going to do. When I think that's cap, they should make GT one. Like, GT's the best shot creator on the team. So they should transition from that. But you already know it's politics of the NBA. He's the all-star. He's the entitled guy. You know what I'm saying? But you know how it goes. So, Pascal struggling. GT with a little bit of struggle and stuff like that. And the Raptors, we're getting that work on you, right? But the Knicks was going to work. You have Randall, obviously, and you have guys getting buckets, right? So their defense wasn't the greatest, stuff like that. It was a struggle. And then what happened in the third quarter? When GT snaps, the game changes. That's what tells you everything. This is why I tell you the most impactful player and the most on the team. When that player snaps, the outcome normally changes. That's when you know, okay, that guy is really that. There's so many guys that they get their buckets and it's like water points. Even when they're losing, they're still having their 30s. Even when they're losing, they're still having their 20s. Because it's all paint. It's not Arsenal. It doesn't demoralize the other team. It's not like, oh, god damn, that guy frying. Like, this is context that players even on the court kind of like, maybe just easy points. They kind of feel like we're not trying that much. That's why he's scoring. Like that's a Hooper's mind. No, if we want to guard him, we can lock him up. But, we just allow him. He's just going to the paint. His transition. Whatever. We don't really. And that's kind of Pascal's bucket. So when he has 30, that's why you can see Pascal have 30 and they still be losing. Or it's still a close game. Trent fries, the game changing. Trent fries, they up how many versus Cleveland? Like, guys like that who have Arsenal, when they fry, you demoralize the other team. So Trent all of a sudden starts frying in the third, right? Now and not only that, when you start frying, when an ability Arsenal guy starts frying, your own team feels so amped. You're like, god damn, now everyone starts frying with him. You start hitting shots. When you see guys making tough shots, step back. Oh, okay, he here today. I got to bring it up. Like, your eyes just be like, yo, bruh, this is elite. You just automatically, as a teammate, you just snap out whatever you're dealing with. You just break out of it and like, yo, we here. You just get amped because you're watching eliteness. That's another context that you don't hear people talk about. But if you hear the players, they don't even need to say it. But if a player will tell you off the court, he'll tell you that, yo, it's true. That feeling, like, mans don't even have to say it and look at you and say, yo, you fine, I'm here with you. Don't have to physically, verbally say it. It's just that's what they're thinking in their minds. Like, God, like, yo, bro, oh, he here. You play better defense. Like, oh, he here now. Oh yeah. And then now another guy get a bucket. That's why you hear the bench. Yeah, they start screaming. Every man feels amped. And then the whole game momentum shifts just like that. It's like what you saw with Kyrie in the finals, in the 3-1 lead. Stuff like it's stuff like that. That really is like, it dictates a lot more than you ever know. So GT start frying in the third, and now you just start seeing, you start seeing the whole lead, the whole energy start changing. You see New York's palms getting sweaty too because they start getting demoralized. So now if they don't hit a shot, it's like the shots become bigger and bigger and bigger. Who scores becomes bigger. The pressure becomes bigger and bigger and bigger on every possession. Raptors are locking them. Now the Raptors are up, right? And then now all of a sudden even now when GT's out the game, and then now what's it called? Malachi and the bench guys are in the game. What do you start seeing? Malachi now takes over and does the GT bag. And now, it flows into Malachi. And he starts frying buckets, pull-up threes. Straight frying. Pull-up 1-2 mid-range, right? Like, you're seeing him fry. And then now, you're seeing the lead even increase and increase and increase. They go up there basically, I think they went up almost 7 or 8, whatever it was. And he scored a 3 in the corner. And what happened? They took that shit away. And I had a problem with that. At first, I was kind of like, yo, his heel, like, it looks like he's out of bounds, but he's not out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? Like, his heel is actually above. His heel is actually above. Like, and that's what cheeses me too. Those ones on the baseline or on the sideline, like, it looks like his heel is clamped or his foot, like, it's like this, and it's on the line, right? I'll even put up the picture. It looks like it's actually, on the line. But if you zoom in and you actually look closely, there's a space between, like, it looks like it's over, but it's not touching. It's over, but it's not touching. And the picture, when you zoom in, it doesn't let you see fully that it's actually, over. It looks like it's touching, but it's not. It's actually up. It's up. You could see just look at his heel base. It's actually up. How he's planted. No one shoots flat-footed like that on the catch on the land. That's how you tear your Achilles. You catch on your tippy toes and you go up. So his heels is pointed up. So the back is actually up. He's not stepping on it. And, other angles show that he wasn't stepping on it. And it was a bad call from the refs. And more so why I say it's a bad call, because it has to be conclusive for you to overturn. Right there in those pics and on those footage, it doesn't look like it's conclusive. It's not conclusive. Because the call is, it's a 3-point bucket. You have to have it so conclusive that it's like, nah, that's on the line. We overturn. And, they overturned it, and I didn't like that, because that right there is where the game is lost. That right there changes the whole trajectory of the game. You know what I mean? There's certain buckets they might not make. There's, you know what I mean? Because they're up by 3. You have more cushion. You can run out clock. There's so many different ways this game could go just by those 3 points on the board at that time. You know what I'm saying? And right now, exactly like when you take away 3 points, now you're even closer to even tying the game. You get more energy. You get more boost. You could see the end of the tunnel from the Knicks. You add those 3 points. Their takes might not be the same down this. They might rush on 1-2. You know what I'm saying? The Raptors will not have poise, slow it down, right? Like because you're ahead. You're not also rushing yourself, trying to get a bucket, right? So you add those factors, and it's a completely different outcome. More so in the Raptors' favor, right? So I didn't like that call. That changed the trajectory of the game, right? In terms of the Raptors winning the game. That was a hella crucial call. I didn't like that at all, right? I looked from multiple angles. It's not even a biased look. Like, you know me. If it's real, if it's true, I'm going to be, no pun intended, I'm going to talk about it. But at the end of the day, like, I didn't think that was conclusive. And even if, let's say his foot was on the line, it wasn't clear. Like I said, it wasn't clear enough to overturn it. So, I think he wasn't. But, the refs, obviously, they saw a different thing in the actual, Secaucus, whatever they saw. But, that you take away those 3 points. Now, that's not enough to say, oh, that's why they lost. Like, yes, in the vacuum, at the end of it, yes. But now in that moment, now Raptors had multiple possessions and opportunities to score. Multiple possessions. Gary Trent missed a 1-2 open pull-up, but that pull-up when they were down. But that was that curl play that Nurse runs for him off the baseline, right? And that one, off the sideline, that one they ran in the corner there off the curl, and he missed that one. But even then, that was when they were down. But there was times they were up, Pascal, 1-2 bad take, Lowry, he did blow by and take a couple good takes. Pascal at the end, helping off of RJ Barrett in the corner. No IQ. I know you want to help on Randall, but you'd rather live with the 2 in that situation than to give up a 3. He gave up a 3. And even then, when he gave up a 3, what happens? They miss a take. Remember with the Gary Trent? Then now they come back. They're still down 2, right? They're still down 2. then what happens now? Bruh. They play defense. They have shot clock in their favor, so they didn't have to foul, right? It was perfect 2-for-1 situation. They didn't have to foul. Then what happens? You know, they put it in Burke's hands because he has been doing closing ability, right? He has been doing closing ability. They give it to Burks, and then what does he do? He turns over because they did a 1-2, like they blitz it, kind of trap, whatever, and then he was forced to pass to the skip to the 45. And what happens? He made a bad pass, and Lowry's right there in the lane, gets the steal, 2-hand, perfect. Gives it to Pascal, exactly where you want Pascal. In a transition situation, he doesn't have to think. This is what you do. This is your strength. When you have someone who messes up on their strength, that's why I try to tell you, it's all mentally frail, mental weakness, not mentally strong. How could you now suss something that is your strength? That's when you know you're not mentally strong in the clutch at all. Because at worst, mentally frail normally applies to you can't do anything outside your strength. Because you're mentally weak, you won't even take it. Because you're nervous, your palms are sweaty, you ain't confident. Because there's other guys who don't even do what they normally do in the clutch. Because it's clutch, they rise their level of play. You know, that's like Rondo. There's other guys who don't shoot threes, you know what I mean? But they all of a sudden they'll hit threes. Butler. The list goes on. But what does Pascal do? We didn't even say, okay, you just don't do something outside of what you normally do. You know, okay, you struggled. This is something, when you now mess up something that's your strength, that is the ultimate top tier 10 out of 10 version mentally frail on the ladder. That's what he is. And yes, it sounds like I'm being harsh, and I haven't even talked about Pascal in a long time. But how could you get it in transition and then your brain is so, you know, you bust your Scalati, your brain is so fugazi that your brain goes in overload because do I pass or do I go for a take? That little split-second decision, your brain just went, and then I want to pass, and then you double dribble. That's elementary. That's so basic. Double dribble? It's not even like you traveled. Double dribble? Like, so your brain couldn't tell, and then just stop, and then hand off to Boucher trailing? Or push shot from there? Or a man will curl to you at worst? Like, your brain couldn't even comprehend that you actually picked up the ball? That's when you know you literally are deer in headlights. You know those ones, deer in headlights? You didn't think in the moment you made a bad decision? Your palms were sweaty, you were nervous? You were embarrassed? Stuff like that. That's what happened. That's literally what happened. Atrocity. Double dribble? Bruh. And look at everyone's reaction. Trent, Boucher, Lowry. Even Lowry's talking to RJ Barrett like, yo, this nigga, man. Everybody across the board. Like that's when you know you did something so atrocious that your own teammates don't even just be like, come back on D. It's all good. Like, they actually just look at you like, oh my. Like, what? You did that? Out of everything, you did that? At least if you got a charge. You did that? Bruh, like, I try to tell people, man, like, that's where I hope Nurse, and this is where now, at this point, it's beyond the players. At this point, we know what Pascal is. Nurse. You have to now, this is the difference. This is what I liked about Casey. He made tough decisions. Even if it will get DeRozan mad. Even if it'll get JV mad. Bench him. Let him know. He did it to Pascal one time and Pascal went off on him. That don't matter. You're not that. You're like, bro, I could not be. Bro, they didn't want to see me as a coach of the Raptors. They didn't want to see me as a coach of the Raptors. They didn't want to see me like this is why you hear some hoopers, like they say, like, when I'm done and I'm retired, I can't be a coach because the way I might handle some of these guys, like, we're going into locker room and we're squaring up. We squaring up. Like, we gonna square up. You gonna talk to, like, I'm a son you today. I'm a son you today. Like, we squaring up. And who wins? And it won't come out because I'm gonna keep your ego strong because I'm gonna fold you. It won't come out. I'm gonna keep your ego strong. No one will know. You know what I'm saying? We'll close all the doors, lock it off. And then it's just us and the players. In fact, no. Everybody out. It's not getting leaked. Everybody out, we close the doors and it's me and you. And all they hear is noise. I win, we don't hear nothing. You win, you could go tell him and say you son the coach, and then from there I'll take the L and you got it, fam. But that's not happening. If I win and no one says nothing, we just go out about our next day, come back, and everyone else come back in the locker room, and we continue like nothing happened. That's what. But you know, that's all that matters. As long as you know that all of that bark ends today. I'm the dog. It ends today. What I say goes. Like, see, that's why a lot of the like hoopers, man, come on now. They're competitive. You know what I mean, man? They're like alphas, extreme alphas. Like, that's why they can't be coaches. That's why you didn't see Kobe be a coach. That's why, you hear Draymond say that, yo, I don't know if I could be a coach. Like there's certain things that you see these young mans is like, you like, bruh, we're not the same. I'm a or you see some of them even just be an assistant coach. Like the Chaunceys in them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, or they'll be a coach and it has to be only the elite only. Like, they can't be a coach of like Fugazi. Like, it's because it's like the way I will handle it and the way like it's supposed to be handled is two different things. So, like, come on now. Like, bruh, this is on, at this point, like, maybe, Pascal won the battle and, all of that type of stuff. So now, like, he still gets the number one option or role and, like, and, still gets the, like, he's the focal point of the offense type of role and the main guy and whatever, and nothing changed. But if it's me, if I'm Nurse, I'm changing that shit. I've seen too much. Like, you want to make a push. You're losing games. You want to make a push. Like, come on now. I've seen too much. Change it up. Even if you don't bench him, let him know that stop giving it to him. Lowry, you make that play. And it's not even Lowry's fault. Like, he's supposed to hit him. Like, that's who you're supposed. Like, if anything, he doesn't have to think now. Let me hit Pascal. Perfect. What? Transition? Pascal, that's you. Oh, we're about to get a bucket. Spin. And, like, look. Then we win. And then now look. Bruh, that's atrocity, man. Like, so, bruh, I haven't went off in a minute. And this is not even fully going off. Because what I really want to say, I'm not going to say. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, you already know, like, it's beating a dead horse. You know what I'm saying? It's beating a dead horse. But, like, I just, it's funny just how, remember, I just keep going back to, like, I'm always going to bring it up. Because when I was speaking about Pascal in that light, y'all were saying I was a hater and I'm disrespectful and this and that. You're not a Raptors fan and this and that. And then now it's to the point where y'all have even mentioned and trade him. Y'all are getting tired of him yourselves. You're saying you're better without him. Don't even play him. All of this, I'm seeing a lot of y'all fans saying. Maybe not a lot of y'all on the comments, but I'm seeing it all over Twitter and IG. I'm seeing majority is everyone's ethering this man. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, I always say, it's not his fault. It's y'all fault. Y'all propelled him into this light. Y'all put him, part of that money he's getting, majority of that money he's getting, is y'all, not his play. Because there's so many guys who have that play that don't get the number one option all of a sudden. There's so many guys, they still know that you only got those buckets at that high rate because Kawhi or that superstar was there. We already know that. You're not superstar level. We know that. So you'll get third option, two option money. Not number one. You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all propelled him to that. Y'all made, the GMs and the Raptors organization believe that he can replace Kawhi and all this type of stuff. Like, no. Kawhi was irreplaceable until you get another superstar. Not Pascal. No. We don't do that. Bro, that's crazy, man. So at the end of the day, like, now we already know what it is. We already know who's who. At this point now, Nurse has to manage better. Nurse has to pick the spots better, dictate who does what better. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he could say it all day, and then the players could, avoid it and still go to Pascal and still do whatever they do. But at the end of the day, if you're really that type of coach, real coaches, you'll see how they coach bad teams really tells you how they manage egos will tell you how great a coach is. And we already know that Nurse is a great coach. Like, I'm not discrediting him. We already know because he overachieved already with a mediocre team. We seen that last year, right? But I'm talking about when they're struggling and when now egos are at hand and now mans are yelling and all that type of stuff. Like, humble him, turn it around. We gonna change. Oh, you gonna talk up? All right, say less. Trent, you got it. Lowry, you got it. Flynn, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, but you already know, I mean, Pascal being who he is actually part of Nurse. So I don't think Nurse is going to do that. Nurse is a good guy, and he's more so like, I believe in you, that like, he's believing in him. And I know maybe it's waivers at times with all these Fugazi moves, but he's believing in him, right? So he's like, I'm gonna continue to ride with him because Pascal being this is because Nurse made a gamble, right? No one saw Pascal as being this guy. Once Nurse became a head coach, he elevated him to number 2 option. Elevated him OD when they got Kawhi that same year. That was Nurse's first year. So that's the bond they have. So like, yes, he's mad at Pascal yelled at him and did all that bullshit or whatever, but Nurse is not gonna react a way someone else would react. He's gonna react more so probably on the side of Pascal at the end of the day, where it's like, we good, I got you, my fault, here you go, right? Type of thing. That's what I could see. So at the end of the day, like, Raptors could have won that game, right? And they're on the turning around, and now they lost. Now they gotta bounce back again. We'll see how they do. You know what I'm saying? Let's even check real quick. I liked what I saw, man. I liked what I saw overall, like how they played, how they came back. Like, that's how they're supposed to move, man. That's how they're supposed to move. But, like we said, finishing has always been a lot of the issue, finishing and closing. So we've only had one great closing situation. That was GT. So, I'm seeing Nurse run plays for him, but in certain moments, like, they couldn't avoid giving it to Pascal. That situation, you had to. KYP said to give it to him. So the fact that he fumbled the bag there is just atrocity. And at the end of the day, what are they? They're 2 games back from Chicago. So, they were 1 game, now they're 2. So to get into that play-in tournament. So, this is, you can't let it slip. Washington is even increasing. Washington's only 1 game back from you, right? So you can't let it slip. The games are only getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? Are you a baller? A baller? A baller. We got to find out. We'll see. You already know. So, man. We'll see if they could turn it around, man. That was just an atrocious ending, but it happens, right? It happens. We'll see what they could do. And, at least get into the play-in at worst. At least. Come on. At least. At worst. At least do that. Come on now.